Can you hear us now? Who's doing all that?
Are we doing it live?
Can you hear us now, ladies and gentlemen? And it's did fall. What the heck is going on, bro?
Yeah. All right, now they can hear us.
Give it a second.
All right, well, I guess we got to redo the intro.
Hey, Chad, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Chad, can you hear us?
Hey, listen.
Can you hear us,
We
Chad?
back at it again with the white man. Hey, my man, Pat the designer right here.
Jay Green said, y'all sound like Caleb Williams with no O-line.
Snap.
All right, let's run this back.
Hey.
Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all tuning in and rolling with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hey, we got to recap last night's Bears game. It was ugly. I have ranted. I have lost my mind, but
You even went viral.
I'm going a little bit viral. I'm going a little bit viral. I don't know. I may have to see Ryan Poles about that one. That went a little hard on that one. He may pull up on me, which is fine.
You went hard in the paint.
Which is all good. Which is all good. Listen, that was raw emotion. That was raw emotion.
It's the truth.
You get what? Yeah, it is the truth. There's
He
that.
did
Hey, man.
Get some people that play.
I don't know if y'all know this because I couldn't do this alone, but we got the squad in the building. Yeah. As always, the super producer Joel Holt, always holding it down over here, running the whole show. The pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. I don't know if he's ready to cook somebody today, though. He's coming in a little gentle on the quarterback situation right now. Of course, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, and on the ones and twos, keeping the cameras on the move, Mr. C Dub back there in the building. He found his sunglasses.
Oh, he's back.
He got a new pair, actually. He got a new pair.
Is that it?
Oh, it's a nice pair.
They're oldie but a good.
They
oldie but a goodie.
I think they sent you a little bit better
Those are his Ron
than
Eyes
the bedazzled ones that you had on before.
He do got a little bit of la da 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 going on right now.
Contagious going.
He got a little
Contagious.
What the hell is going on between the sheets in my home?
There you go.
Oh, it's about to be some. How did I get into this? Should have never came home with this. You low down dirty woman.
We gotta get this show, dog.
Where you come from, but baby, but wait, my hit the street show. Since grass, Mr. B before you jump.
You guys are hilarious.
Anyway, I was going to tell you who this cat was.
How you know my name?
Hey. No, I don't think so. Hey, man, let's get up into this mud, man. Let's get up into this mud. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Hey, y'all know how we start off on Monday, man. Let's get it cracking with a Chicago Bears recap.
Burn out.
We're going to take that off. We're going to go there. We're going to do all that fun stuff.
He wasn't ready.
Well, we were going through all this and singing R. Kelly opera joints.
I gave you so much time to get ready.
Hey,
It's ready. It's ready. It's going to play out.
We had to sing it.
How you know my name, son?
My bad.
All right, thank you. I had to pick like Caleb for
This podcast is going to make me a Bears fan. I like that.
the dark side. There you go.
We got a lot to look at on this game, man. The offense was better in theory. We got up to a whole 205 yards. Did a great job at improving, I guess, is one way to say it.
Totally
71 rushing yards, time of possession. Bears did end up winning that time of possession. A lot of penalties. Both teams only scoring one touchdown. The field goal battle is really the difference in this game as a total. Karimi Fairbairn dominating from 50 all night. Bears did a really good job shutting down the run game as well for the Houston Texans. I thought that made the biggest difference. When you look at the defense here, there could have been one defensive touchdown. Lance said there was no chance that was a pick six, though. 69 tackles on the day, 6 tackles for loss for the Bears, 3 sacks, no interceptions, did force one fumble, Big Billings down on the goal line, being able to get that one there. Hit the QB 4 times and had 5 passes defended. As you can see, the Houston Texans came to play as well. 9 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 2 interceptions. Dang. That is the difference in the game for sure. 11 quarterback hits. Caleb Williams was not having a fun day out there in the slightest. And I mean, listen, it shows in what the final score ends up being, right? You lose this game 19-13. Caleb Williams 174 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 44 rushing yards on the day. That's not enough to get it done. DJ Moore was the most targeted receiver, brought in 6 of those receptions for 53 yards. I had to avert my eyes there. Joel just switched everything up on me.
Bro.
But no, I mean, listen, Tremaine Edmonds also had himself a nice day. 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, had a couple of nice pass breakups. Kevin Byard also got involved in the tackles as well. This defense really just moves around quickly, and everybody gets to the ball. We saw some phenomenal defensive play, which kept them in the game, which is the best thing to see, because moving forward, you know you're going to get more out of this defense than maybe you will early on from this offense. TJ Edwards also 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. You can always count on TJ Edwards to be in the mix as well. And then Jaquan Brisker getting in on there as well. I mean, listen, Brisk was all over the place. Saw him lay a couple of big hits as well. A perfectly called defense had him with what could have been a pick 6. Oh my goodness, dog. That spider big than a mug down there, boy.
Oh, snap.
What you talking about?
Really? We gonna keep it moving.
Oh, look at Paris. You didn't.
Oh. No.
Jack Sanborn
Buddy got a shadow.
Yeah, you got a shout out.
Hey, dog, that's a big spider. Nah.
Jack Sanborn getting in on the mix as well.
Yeah, let Joe.
Paris
is about to.
Joe, it took up the whole middle of your shoe.
Hey.
We good?
We got to spray this place. We got to get some spray. Jack Sanborn getting in on the mix where, he doesn't get in as much at all anymore because the Bears are usually in nickel. They don't spend much time in a base 4-3 system. Then Javon Dexter, again, looking like that 3 technique that we need him to be. Another sack being added to it. Got a QB hit, created pressure all day. Thought he did some really good things as well. And that's our Bears recap of the week. Now, we got to talk about this game and here we go. In totality, because we did come out on the losing end of this one, and it was one where it felt very much like the Bears could have won. Yeah. Yes. And here's the reason that I titled the video the way I did, right? Did the Chicago Bears fail Caleb Williams now in week 2, but through these first couple of weeks of the season? Because I got the PFF grades and PFF. And I know you got to take everything with PFF with a grain of salt. A grade, you just do, right? Because I don't know how they're grading offensive linemen, and you're getting so many, like everybody just knows the blocking scheme, when half the time you never know what the blocking scheme really is. You can kind of guess, but you don't know exactly who everyone's responsibility is. But going through PFF, you can kind of break it down. I broke it down to 50% of all blocking snaps. So this kind of takes out wide receivers blocking, running backs blocking, stuff like that. Darnell Wright. Well, I'll say this. There were 146 offensive linemen that played on Sunday, through Thursday through Sunday. Out of those 146, here is where the Chicago Bears rank.
Perfectly timed.
Darnell Wright, your number 10 overall pick, I believe, was the 137th out of 146 rank.
Only 9 worse.
Offensive lineman.
Now, you said that they all played.
These are all the ones that played.
All the starters.
This is all of the starters. 2 sacks, 3 hurries, and 1 penalty allowed for Darnell Wright. That's your number 10 overall pick. That's not a great place for you to be in right now.
Please tell me it gets better from there.
I am going from bottom to top. So in theory, yes, but it's still not great. Nate Davis was 125th out of 146 offensive linemen that played on Sunday. This is where they ranked again. Braxton Jones finished 82nd out of 146 offensive linemen that day. Okay. This is where I start to.
No, we're getting better. We got a lot better.
I started from the bottom. I'm working my way to the top. It's going to make you feel better. There is one you probably end up feeling good about, but this is why I say this, right? Because we also can watch the game. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, I don't know about that. Because Coleman Shelton ranked 59th out of 146 offensive linemen. That's a lie. He got a cousin in there.
I think he works at.
He got a cousin or two in PFF.
My man was an usher yesterday.
No, Usher the singer or Usher the worker?
Usher like, hey, where's your seat? Okay, let me help you out. Caleb is right here for you.
Where's your seat? Caleb Williams' lap, party of 2.
There you go.
Caleb Williams' lap, party of 2. And then Tevin Jenkins ranking as the best offensive lineman on the team on Sunday. 27th out of 146 offensive linemen. You have 4 of your 5 offensive linemen who do not rank in the top 50 protecting your starting quarterback. You have two of your main pieces on the offensive line who do not rank in the top 100 for your offensive line. By the way, they are in the middle of the offensive line, the two most important pieces on the offensive line. So I ask you this, even with all the weapons, new coaches, all of this stuff that's added.
Weapons?
When you look at the same scenario, these are similar numbers to what we could have pulled up last season talking about some of the linemen. I know that in the end it graded out well, and maybe it will here as well. But through the first 2 weeks, does it feel like the Chicago Bears have failed Caleb Williams by putting him behind this offensive line?
Yes, absolutely. It's a failed experiment. I don't know why Coleman Shelton is 88th. What is he, 80 what?
He is, Coleman Shelton was 59th out of 146.
59th. First of all, where's the camera? No, that's a lie. All right, listen. That's a lie. I don't know what Pip, whatever your name is, like what's happening right there, but that's a lie. We watched the game. And this is where, what's the phrase? Like, numbers don't lie, but they don't always say the full, complete truth.
Yeah.
I really want to know how they got that rating. I really want to understand.
I always ask that question.
It's just
the eye test does not lie.
Because it's supposed to be them just sitting there watching tape and they break down, okay, did he miss the assignment? Did he make the assignment? I think they do a good job at saying who caused, like, hurries and pressures and stuff like that. But I feel when Olin Kreutz has told me, I don't know what the blocking scheme is, so I can't tell you what this guy should be doing here, but this is what I think he should be doing, and this don't look good enough. I know Olin Kreutz knows the blocking schemes.
Yeah.
So if he from the outside looking in can't sit there and go, yeah, that's what that is.
But it's the same problem.
He's a Hall of Famer. How you gonna tell me that?
The only reason why I can see this being that way and Coleman Shelton being ranked a little bit less is because you had the edge rushers being the problem with this team.
And last week he got a worse rating because it was the middle. Yes,
it was the interior, so maybe more pressure was coming from the outside than the inside. So you gave him a pass. But again, we see the eye test. We see every single one of these guys outside of Tevin didn't do their assignment. You saw missed blocks, miss defense schemes. Like Darnell Wright got blown by Will Anderson Jr.
That was crazy.
That was nuts to me. I mean, this guy was dominant in, like I said, in college versus Will Anderson head to head, and so I was expecting a little bit more of a better performance from Darnell Wright. But everybody pretty much had a really, really bad game outside of Tevin Jenkins.
I would say that again, it takes a while for offense to catch up to the defense. We also,
with the line, though?
But you have
they played with each other for a minute.
Yeah, four of these five pieces have all played together for the last 2 seasons.
That's a bad excuse at this point.
I'm not making an excuse. What I'm saying is it's the reality. Like, offense always takes a while. On top of that, you have a rookie quarterback. Yeah. How do we know that certain calls are not being made, the right protections are being called out, and it's missing certain things? Because there were 2 instances where they were wide, just free-range sacks on Caleb Williams.
Absolutely.
That's not necessarily like, I'm a bad lineman, I'm doing my protection, I go to this way, and someone didn't get picked up because they missed their assignment. Did someone not call the correct assignment? I don't know if that's on Caleb. We don't know if that was on offensive line. I think Caleb makes some calls, right?
Caleb made a ton of calls. Caleb was audible and at the line all day. Like, he literally was, you hear him call stick, which is basically like, okay, we're going into a man protection. Twig.
Yeah.
We're going into a man protection. So we got 5 up front. We got 5 offensive linemen. Guard your man. He's calling the audible, which is why I'm not, by the way, we skipped over this. 100 in the chat. And since we got here, we might as well. 200 in the chat. Yeah.
No, there was a lot of shout out to Drew. Like, there was a lot of stunts on the defensive end. They have a delayed blitz, so the guys waiting, come around, and just got a free lane right up to the quarterback. A lot of that is not necessary. It's a combination of things. I don't know if it was Shane Waldron or how he was putting his personnel out there. We don't know if it was bad calls on the same side of it. As they're learning, I mean, they're putting a lot of pressure on Caleb to be the guy, which I'm fine. I think he wants it. It's going to happen. He got better than he was last week. He looked a lot crisper. Yes, again, you got people dropping touchdowns again. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah. True. So to me, I that's why I picked them to win. They had it.
They had
shot. They
had
stopped.
opportunities.
They stopped they stopped the offense. They had it on the fourth
That
quarter
fumble.
with 4
fumble
5 minutes to go.
Fumble. Yeah.
If now again there was 2 separate plays where they go to, it was supposed to be a comeback route on DJ Moore. That was either
Underthrown.
miscommunication.
That's underthrown.
There might have been another one.
That was a bad throw.
Okay, then it's
That
a bad throw. There was another one with
I
Rome.
watched that on the
Looking back.
L22 today. That was a bad.
But there's
throw.
another one with Rome.
The Rome one I don't know how it's not a comeback. Caleb was fully thinking comeback. Clearly, there's a miscommunication there. But where he put the ball, there's no way it wasn't supposed to be a comeback, unless Caleb misunderstood the play call.
I just think that we also need. First of all, I think everybody's excited.
Yeah.
Now, none of us here said Super Bowl like Nick Wright did. We're watching a team grow. This is year 3 of a rebuild.
3 of a rebuild.
Right.
Yes.
We have another offseason to get that line right. So we knew that. I think that the thing is that polls, like I've said this before, maybe he thought that with getting Caleb, he can compensate for the deficiencies of some of the offensive line, but he's still getting better. The only thing I thought differently was I felt like he would maybe come out of the shootout of the gate like Will Levis. You know, like a lot of times rookie quarterbacks, no one has tape on them. They don't know how to scheme for him, and he goes crazy. And then they get tape on him, and then he he has to go through that process. It looks like he's doing this type of projection. He's eventually getting there, but he's getting incrementally better. But we're watching an offense get to better. We're all disappointed that he didn't do what we wanted him to do. But I think it's still growing pains.
But I would go into some
But I think
positives,
that's why we got to talk about the failure of what the Bears have done. Clearly, you thought that him being Superman would happen, and so we don't need to address offensive lines. That's the only way you pull up with Coleman. Listen, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know in the chat. Outside of injury, where somebody tore up their ACL like Connor Williams did, when is the last time you saw an above average center hit the market?
They don't.
Never.
They don't.
You said it a million times. Those,
You know what I mean?
People don't get.
They don't go
They don't
anywhere.
get taken off of a team.
When
available.
is the last time you saw a backup get traded for and all of a sudden he was a premier starter?
No.
Because that has happened.
That's a different question.
That has happened, but it don't happen often.
Well, a lot of times it's a diamond in the rough.
And you're taking a chance.
Right.
But that guy, right, and the reason I bring that up is the guy who's hurt, Ryan Bates, was supposed to be your starting center. The goal was for him to win that job.
Right.
He don't play center. You know what I mean?
It's jacked up.
So literally your hope was by the offseason moves you made, we will be able to put this together because Caleb will be able to do what he did in college in the NFL. And guess what? 2 weeks in, he's one of the most pressured quarterbacks in the NFL. He's been sacked 10 times. He's yet to throw a touchdown. None of the quarterbacks in the NFL have thrown a touchdown to this point, but he's yet to throw a touchdown. He has had a struggle with his deep ball accuracy, but I don't know how much of that I can put on Caleb Williams because he's been pressured on most of his dropbacks. Like it's hard for me to sit here and put the blame on, and not to say Caleb is free of blame.
Right.
There's some throws you got to hit. That pass to DeAndre Carter,
You got
you got to hit it.
You got to do it.
What was it? The DJ Moore pass, right? Where the 50-50 ball, you got to put a better ball on DJ on that one.
Yeah,
You basically
I did expect DJ to come down with that.
But
It's hard.
But
That's hard.
but DJ could have come down with it if you threw it to DJ. When you watch the play, you threw it
threw
to
it
the
to
DB.
No.
And the DB was like,
He threw it inside.
yeah, he's like, the DB is like, all right, I'm the receiver now. You know what I mean?
What was quarterback class last night? Pat goes to the screen. He's open. Jordan's like, I don't see it.
No, it wasn't Jordan.
No, it was me.
Me and
And guess what?
No,
Hey,
Jordan was
I still
half
don't
asleep.
see it.
No,
That's a bad pass, dog.
He's
That's
like,
a bad
he's
pass.
like, there's 3 guys here, and he's over here.
I was rationalizing. I said, okay, I can see a NFL pass, up top to Cole Kmet.
You know
Really,
what made
Joel,
that really a bad pass?
No,
though?
but even Flu said, if he puts a better ball there, that is a pass he should be able to make. He said that today.
Shut up, boy. What you talking about?
There's I forgot who said it. I have to send it, put it in the chat. I'll send it to you all later. But you can see the rookie corner break off of Rome early. Yeah. He breaks off early. He reads it the whole way, and he just throws a bad ball. But he read it the whole way.
100%.
And so it was
he
like-
throws a bad ball. And even Flu said, you got to put that on Cole at the end line, at the sideline, so that Cole can catch it and just go straight out of bounds.
I will say this: he's underthrown more passes than I expected.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I did not expect him to be doing that.
I was expecting that though, because I mean, you looked at the difference between the preseason. He's playing against second and third strings. They're throwing vanilla defenses out at him. You're not playing at the same speed, and so maybe his clock has to kind of first of all.
Say clock, right?
Clock.
C-L-O-C-K.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I got nervous.
You have to adjust to the NFL speed, but then also you have better talent out there. Yeah, every team's obviously got their first string out there.
Yeah.
So there has to be a little bit more attention to detail. We know he can make those passes. We've seen it in college, but this is a different level when he has to just continually adjust.
He's getting better.
We're going to keep this guy.
Got better week of week.
He got better from week 1 to week 2. We got to talk about, is it too early for Bears fans to panic? We're going to keep recapping this. We're going to keep recapping this topic.
We got to answer that.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right after this. Happening Bears Nation, it's your boy Pat, the designer from the Windy City Breeze, where we keep it 100 about everything Chicago Bears. Now, if you're like me, you don't just watch the game, you live it, and that's why you need to check out BetDSI. BetDSI is where it's at if you want to put your money where your mouth is. They've been doing it for over 20 years, giving you the best odds, lightning fast payouts, and a platform that's as solid as the best O-line. Whether you're betting on the Bears to take it all the way or making clutch live bets during the game, BetDSI has you covered. And here is the kicker. Just because you're rolling with the Windy City Breeze, BetDSI is hooking you up. Sign up today with the promo code WCB, and they'll give you 120% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money, folks, to make sure that you're winning as you back our boys in the blue and orange. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Head over to betdsi.eu, use the code WCB, and start turning your Bears passion into serious cash. BetDSI, where real Bears fans get it done. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https://aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold.
Walking around here.
Welcome back, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Oh, did the mic mute again?
It's
we
muted.
good?
No.
That's not me.
Oh, that's this one. Never mind.
Yeah,
That's this one. Never mind. I appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We still got a lot more to recap on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily, but we got to talk about as well, right? Is it too early for Bears fans to panic? Bears fans are nervous right now. And I think rightfully so. I understand the panic around this team right now. But I do kind of want to talk about why I think that I get the panic. And I don't think it's Caleb Williams.
I don't think.
I don't think that people are panicked about Caleb Williams. I think that there are some fans out there who have already written him off. I knew this guy was a bust. Oh, we knew this was going to be this. He was never going to be generational. Blah, blah, blah. They were ready to call him a bust. They were ready to call him a bust the second that he got drafted.
He's terrible. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were ready to call him a bust the second he got drafted. They were waiting for a reason to call him a bust. But the reason that I understand the concern around Bears fans and why I do think that there's some truth founded in some of that concern is this is not week 2 of us talking about not protecting our quarterback.
That's true.
This is not week 2.
Week 25?
Of us talking about, hey, listen, the run game's basically just Justin Fields. Well, now we see that it really was just Justin Fields. You know what I mean?
The difference was Justin just run.
You know what I mean? And this is not week 2 of a lot of the problems that this offense has had. It's just different in a different season. You change some of the names around. And that's why I understand some of the concern. But I would tell people, don't go out there, right? Daniel Jeremiah talked about are you selling your Caleb Williams stock?
I saw that. Yeah.
The growth I saw from a young man who has been under no pressure, but been under constant pressure with no protection from week 1 to week 2. Am I going to sit here and tell you that I feel like he had a great game? No, I think he made some mistakes. I think that he struggled at times, but he got better. Mm-hmm. And he's adjusting to it. Now, what your job is, as Shane Waldron and guys like that, is go out there and establish the run. Mm-hmm. Go out there and get Deion. For the love of God, your $8 million running back in 2 games hasn't rushed for 50 yards.
He had a 1.3.
Boys, I'm not talking about 50 yards a game. No. In totality, he is yet to run for 50 yards in 2 games. We go into Indy next week. He may not leave that game with 100 yards rushing through 3 games.
Well,
did Caleb have more rushing yards than he did?
No, Caleb Williams had 44 rushing yards.
He had 44 rushing yards.
He led the team in rushing yards.
We have Justin Fields again.
And we had 3 running backs.
Hey, it's a joke. It's a joke. Relax.
Where's this guy?
Calm your nerves.
Where's Roshan?
Oh, he's on the sideline.
He getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
He getting punched in the face. Yeah, it was crazy. But it's just, I think
this is only highlight.
I think that this is it's a personnel issue. You got to show more. You got to right. There's more that has to be added to this offense, and realistically, you got to make some tough decisions. Boys, we're going into week 3. You might have to make a decision to put 2 guys who make a heck of a lot of money on the back burner. Yep. You might have to sit $18 million for better running backs because you want to clearly run the football up the middle. Khalil Herbert and DeAndre Swift are both not the running backs for that. Yeah. At best, Roshan Johnson is, and I don't even know if he's the best piece right now, but for what they're trying to do, he's the best piece on the field.
He blocks better. He runs up the gut.
You may have to sit $18 million worth of talent because you didn't address the right things in the offseason. Because you may have to sit Nate Davis too, because watching the All-22 on Nate Davis, oh my God. That was worse than watching the game.
I don't think it's so much that I feel like we needed to be using Swift more as a receiver, as a halfback, like that kind of option. And you can still have Roshan.
That's on Waldron.
And right, that's what I would do. Why not have Roshan is the tough guy. He can pick up the blitz. But when we signed Swift, it was like, that's cool. I see him as a receiving, pass catching running back, where it's like that's the option we have. So if he's back there, maybe they do a run or they're passing. Because all I wanted was someone that can at least trick a defense. If you put Herbert out there, he's basically a one-trick pony kind of guy. Oh, that's what they're going to do. But at least you got a multifaceted type of player, and that's what I was hoping that they're just not utilizing their talent right. They're not. Why not spread the defense out? They're sitting there blitzing you like crazy. Now, mind you, who we play next week?
Well, it's hard to spread the defense out because we want to run outside zone, right? To try as they're blitzing,
but the run ain't working.
Well, but you can't abandon it.
I'm just saying, but you can do certain things where you just give more options for, whether it's quick slants, quick throws. If they're coming at you, that's all my point. Either you chip and
tight end screen definitely ain't the answer for it. We don't need that. We can throw that play away. No. We've seen that in back-to-back weeks. Get rid of that. Yeah. I never need to see that again.
I don't.
Now with 2 tight end screens, that's like last year when Luke Getsy was so gung-ho to run that play where Cole Kmet gets under center and tries to push for the first down. Yeah, I don't need to see either of those plays ever again in my life.
Throw it out.
That'd be great.
Yeah. To your point, though, when you talk about the pressure, and of course, are people out on Caleb? I mean, let's just kind of come back to reality for a second, fans. We understand what we wanted to see, but at the same time, we have to also understand what we probably would have seen. If you go back to the Hard Knocks episode of Nick Saban visited Matt Eberflus, saying that, hey, you know what, this might take a minute for things to kind of flow and get off to a good start. Don't expect everything to be, flowers and roses from the start. It may take 3 to 4 weeks for him to get acclimated to this offense. So preach patience. And that's what we need to preach to ourselves is, hey, we need to be more patient because like you said, you saw minor progress, right? From week 1 to week 2. You see him having the mastery of the offense, calling schemes, calling blitzes up. And like those are things we haven't seen from Justin Fields. Those are things we haven't seen from a lot of quarterbacks.
We still aren't seeing.
He got
Justin
the ball
Fields.
out 2.3,
exactly.
2 point whatever seconds, so he can
those
do
are
it.
Those are improvements.
He
But
did improve.
the bad thing, and Pat mentioned it this morning, how many pressures out of pass attempts did he have?
So the stat is a little bit different. It is 36 pressures on 37 pass attempts, but it's 36 total pressures, not 36 pressures on the drop back. He was pressured on 26 of his 37 dropbacks, which, by the way, guys, still is not good. But in those, there were multiple pressures because he was breaking contain. He was getting out, right? He gets out on the edge on Daniil Hunter, and then there's another guy right there to pick him up. So he was pressured 36 times in total on 37 of his dropbacks. But, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's not a way to build a rookie quarterback, and that was my biggest argument the entire offseason. It was my biggest argument for Justin. It was my biggest argument for Mitch. It was my biggest argument for Jay Cutler. It's been my biggest argument for every quarterback ever. You want to know why? Because all of these freaking quarterbacks out here, right? Pat Mahomes didn't have tackles for his second trip to the Super Bowl. But outside of that,
he did for his first one.
he did for his first one, and he's got an elite center.
Yeah, he does.
You want to know how, and I said this on the Chicago Bears podcast, right? The last time the Chicago Bears had a center, the last time, and I'm talking about a legitimate center. I'm not talking about a guard you moved over to center. I'm not talking about a guy who was what's the freaking, not all pro. What's the other one that you always bring up that I don't care nothing about?
Pro Bowler?
Pro Bowl. Yeah. Pro Bowl. I'm not talking about guys that made the Pro Bowl as an alternate, right? You know what I mean? Like I could care less about all of that.
Pro Bowl. I want a real Pro Bowl.
Well, that's what we've gotten over the last few years. I'm not talking about any of those guys. I'm talking about a legitimate center.
Yeah.
Olin Kreutz retired in 2010. Mm-hmm. Joe, what happened in 2010?
Jay Cutler was the
Jay Cutler got his knee hurt. And we lost.
Where did we go?
We were in the conference championship.
The NFC championship. And if Jay Cutler doesn't get injured, you got a good chance to win the conference championship.
We got a good chance to go to the Super Bowl.
You had a good chance to go to the Super Bowl. The last time you had a center is the last time you had a consistent playoff run.
No, that line was all the old guys. We lost Tate in 2009.
Yeah,
so it was Jamarcus Webb, I think it was.
But Jamarcus Webb was your left tackle. He still got sacked a lot, but it's the competency of having that guy already in place. Olin Kreutz is the one calling out protection. Olin Kreutz is the one, you know what I mean? Like he's pretty much running the show with Jay Cutler being the talent back there. Well, I would love that for a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Instead, we got freaking basically Calvin standing out there.
Calvin.
That was random shot.
We basically just got Calvin standing out there, just like, hey, like, sometimes I play football.
The funny thing about it, though, in all sincerity, people have to change their expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's been so long since we've won, so long since we had, we've been in the mix to say, oh, we have a modern offense and stuff like that. But those things took time to build. And it's still going to take a little time. It's still just week 2. And week over week, we see all these dramatic improvements. We see things that we haven't seen from our previous QB. Hey, listen, guess what? Shane Waldron's scheme doesn't suck. We've seen it work for many other QBs. Some he's revived careers of. Yeah. Guess what? Yeah. The scheme only works when you have people to protect, though.
I don't think that's
so. Like realistically, even then, that's still early. It's still week 2 in that.
That's not the problem.
And I saw even week over week. Did you not? I thought Shane did a good job trying to trying to, I didn't say it worked, but he tried to compensate for some line deficiency in the way he called it a little bit.
You called more 12 personnel this week, which is your tight ends back there. But it's still, I mean, listen,
it didn't work.
Cole
right?
Kmet was god awful too.
It didn't work.
The players have to make plays.
There you go. So the coordinator did his job. He tried to put something out there to help protect this young man. But the guys, as you said, guys have to play. Caleb does have to execute. But it's still just week 2.
Yeah.
Right?
And
we had this as a loss anyway. Most of us had this game as a loss anyway.
Yeah, but the problem is I didn't have it as a loss for my quarterback. It gets hit 11 times and gets sacked 7.
So here's the real thing.
And the problem is watching it. We got 2 more weeks of Caleb Williams before we get the Tyson Bagent show in. That's how it feels.
For the record,
rewatching this game,
no,
is 100%.
No,
he cannot continue to get hit like that.
No, we can't.
He cannot continue.
Oh,
to get
you mean
hit like
him getting injured?
Yeah.
This
okay.
is his, this
oh, you thought I was saying the bench?
I thought you was gonna Bryce Young.
No. I'm talking about injury.
For the record, we are like tied for second place. We're all 1-1.
Well, it would have been nice if we would have been 2-0,
and we would have been tied for first.
It's
still early. But
guys.
Can I add this one? No, go ahead.
No, but to your point, like I was optimistic that the Bears could win, and they could. I was to a degree right. Yeah, but we all thought it was going to be a tough game for Houston. We all knew that. They have next week, was it the Colts and then the Cardinals and the Rams. Those are all also very winnable games.
Yeah,
and Carolina.
Jaguars and
well, I ain't going to lie to you. Cardinals look pretty good.
Cardinals could be tough.
Cardinals look tough.
The Colts.
Hey, Marvin Harrison Jr. But
the defense,
2 passes, 2 touchdowns.
I think we faced 2 of the better defensive lines in the entire league.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Last 2 weeks.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
So that's where we can kind of find a little bit of grace. Is okay. Maybe the schedule eases up when it comes to defensive pressure on Caleb.
Yeah.
So
hey, listen. At the end of the day, I think
the Colts are hurt.
Retired.
Yeah, but they ain't as bad as people are saying.
Who? No, the Rams are in a terrible spot right now.
And they just lost Cooper.
And you lost.
No, I'm talking about their defense.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about
in general.
They
have no offense.
Their defense is.
The defense is not. I mean, listen, it ain't Aaron Donald makes him a monster.
I'll say this: if you finally actually run Roschon Johnson, if you get some run for him over these next couple of weeks, he should be able to plow through that. Because watching David Montgomery, just like say, y'all just gonna jump on my back? That's cool. I'm gonna carry y'all to this end zone. Like that mess was crazy watching that. Like
Colts, Rams. Thanks. Shout out to Johnny Wan.
Colts, Rams, and Panthers. Next.
Like those are all winnable games.
Johnny Wana.
I like that.
And I hope we do win them. I'll be honest with you. I still stick to my initial projection of what benchmarks were because you can see what the fanfare is now with how people are trying to kill him. How does he compare to the people he was drafted with? The Commanders game is important because guess what? If Caleb doesn't show up that game or for some odd reason he gets the most sacked quarterback then and Jaden Daniels goes off, what is Pat going to have to deal with 3 hours later?
I'm basically just gonna keep saying the same thing. Yeah, he keeps getting sacked,
right? Like
that's not a way to build a quarterback.
We're comparing him to Justin Fields, who threw for 110 yards. Not we, but like the chat, Twitter. He threw for 117. I believe Caleb had 174.
Yeah.
But we also know that he could have had more.
He should have had a lot.
Hey, listen, if Caleb had a pocket. You know, he would have had that. If Rome catches that, he has a touchdown. Like if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I don't play the end game, you know?
100%. But, like, Justin's plays happened, and then the offensive line, like, held somebody like that. Hey, he was getting screwed. I told y'all I'd be fighting if I was Justin Fields. Bro, he should have had 250, 2 touchdowns.
I'm not going to give him that.
Hey, bro.
It was a heavy He
should have had 250, 2 touchdowns, and then they were running the football.
It was a heavy run game.
Bro, that man finished with 117 and 1. You know how pissed I be in that locker room, dog?
It looked like a Fields game.
Here's where I would want to give all Chicago Bears fans, an olive branch in a sense. I want you all to relax a little bit. We remember when Kevin Byard gave that speech about it's good that we've gone through adversity and won, right, in the first game.
Yeah.
Well, now we've gone through adversity in week 2 and lost. And so you got the good and the bad. And I feel like with the adversity going from winning to losing with this team, either it's going to continue to draw them closer, they're going to figure this thing out, or it's going to crumble little by little. And I honestly think that with the pieces that we have on our team, people getting healthier, Keenan Allen coming back, perhaps finding a way to cure this line some kind of way with whatever we have, we can get on the line outside of Nate Davis. Then we can be better because the line, the schedule coming up is not going to be, as bad as the last 2 weeks.
It's not a killer.
It's good practice. Look,
That ain't practice.
Fellas,
It's real, my boy.
No, well, I'm just saying it's
This ain't practice. This is real.
what I'm getting at is that they were in the game, minus
100%.
all of the issues that they had, minus all the miscommunications and the missed throws. They were in the game. They're getting better. Now, they went against a better quarterback that didn't shoot themselves in the foot with no turnovers. I guarantee if they had 1 or 2 turnovers, we probably would have won that game just like we did the Texans.
Well, we did
Can
get
I
one.
ask you all a question? Like everybody
Talk
collectively.
cleanly.
Huh?
Can I ask everybody a question? Like, and to see that, definitely you as well. How do you approach this season? Like in your mind, how would you like them to approach this season? Are you like, hey, just develop for the long run, or win now? What is your approach
Win.
to this?
Well,
It's
it's
both.
always been the win,
It's
and that's the thing is we came into the season saying, "Hey, 10 games the minimum." That's kind of been my thought process. We should at least be at 10 games the minimum as far as what we expect to win.
I do
So
expect
now
that.
with the next few games coming up, we got Indianapolis coming up next week. Are we for sure we're going to win that game? We should, but I mean, the way how this O-line is set up and all the blitz is going to be coming at Caleb, are we sure we're going to come out of that game with the win? So I feel confident that we can still get to that set goal of 10 wins, what we should be getting. But at the same time, I'm a little bit concerned that because we didn't address the main need, which was the O-line, that your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, may get shook up. And upstairs, when it's shook up pretty bad, it's hard for him to get back out of that. And I think that's what happened with Justin his rookie year. And I hope that don't happen to Caleb, man.
And that's why I wanted to fix this. That's why I wanted the offensive line to be fixed. That's why I said, listen, I like the fact that you got Roma Dunze. I think in the long run, Roma's going to be a great asset for you. I hate that he dropped that football. And that's one you got to catch.
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta bring it down.
both hands.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the high point guy.
It takes
Right? You got to. That's one you got to bring down. That's your skill set. That was your opportunity. But outside of that, like, while I love having Roma Dunze, I would love to have that dude that I know is going to protect Caleb Williams. There's 5 dudes on this offensive line. I don't know which one I feel confident in protecting them. The number 10 over, and this is my thing. Everybody today has been going, well, Pat, he's going up against Will Anderson, and he's going up against Daniil Hunter. What do you expect? I expect my 10th overall pick
That dude was doing it.
to look like one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, not one of the bottom 9.
well.
I expect Braxton Jones to look competent because he's been in the NFL for 4 years and have something figured out.
Yeah.
I expect Coleman Shelton to be able to snap and not end up face down back up. I expect Nate Davis to once
I expect
again
that from him
just
now.
show an effort at some point because once again he's sitting there just like, all right, the one play that's going viral is not the play to take from. Like everybody let the man through. It was clearly a screen pass.
Yeah.
But
And
you know, like
crazy how they do.
there's so many plays where you just look at this offensive line and you don't go, they messed up. You go, they can't do it. And that is a problem.
Yeah.
You've got 4 dudes on this, like Darnell Wright on Sunday. I'm concerned. I know it's only week 2 and maybe it's not going to end up being that in the long run. I know he had a great rookie season, but I am concerned, dog.
He's supposed to be great.
He looked lost.
He looked
And on that final play with Daniil Hunter basically coming through and just killing Caleb Williams, he was just like, I don't know where I was supposed to be there. Maybe you're supposed to be blocking the big dude that's coming towards you. Like,
But again, is it Shane Waldron? Is it the calls? It's this. It might just be also just bad player execution, but it's still early. It takes a few weeks. You know, everybody they hype this dude up that he's going to come in and do this. And to a degree, like I said, 200 yards for me is what I'm thinking out of a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
But I was
one
saying
completed
that
pass
in the
short,
preseason because everybody's going to call me a Debbie Downer, right? Because I was like, it's the preseason. Wait for him to get some real action because I don't, so I'm like, of course, I kind of went into it where it's like, okay, yeah, we expecting some stuff. And we all expected us to beat the Titans. Mm-hmm. We definitely expected the Texans to be tough, but I didn't think it was going to be I just didn't think it was going to be a blowout.
I don't think none of us called a blowout.
No, and that's why I gave them a 3-point win. Like, they could probably do it, and they almost did it.
How much? 6?
We lost by 6.
So, like, it's –
But that is
Oh.
and that's where you can feel comfortable. This defense is
well,
great.
let me to answer his question. I expected continual growth through the season. By the time this is the year where they grow to like a 9-10 type of season, or maybe 11, they lose in the first round of playoffs, but they got the momentum. The next year is where it's like, okay, Now
We
we're
got the
here. It's
protection.
time.
Let's go.
This is the early seeds of this. Like as much as everybody wants Caleb to be ready right now, most rookies, they tell you this. Everybody struggles to a degree outside of C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud is the exception.
But
He's
again,
not the
C.J.
ruler.
Stroud struggled.
C.J. Stroud, he did.
I don't know why people keep trying to eliminate the games where he struggled. He struggled.
Because they were far and few between, and his numbers look good by the end of it.
Maybe that might happen. We might see Caleb go crazy in the next round.
I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. They talking about he's on track. They were joking. Somebody was joking like he's on track to get 0.0 touchdowns and this and that. Like, look, the Joker's dropped touchdowns in the end zone. He would have one per game right now.
The reason I asked that question because it's a numbers game for me. There's 6 games on our schedule coming up that I think we definitely have to win or we definitely can win. There's some games where it's like I would rather us before we get there. Let's just make sure Caleb is developing well. The 49ers game scares me.
Yeah, we already knew that.
But that's a long way away. And they dropping like flies. I don't know what's going on over there. I just lost Debo. I'm pissed.
Hold on, wait. That offense though. That defense is still pretty good.
The defense is still the defense.
So here's the thing. I know that we're talking about just the wins overall from a team perspective, but it's like, hey, our future is still riding on our quarterback. And so it's like, hey, building his confidence, getting him up to speed and stuff like that, and not put him in situations where he's like Justin Fields and the Browns. Like that was to this day, that game right there, I still feel bad for that kid.
Did we do 300?
300 in the chat.
How do we get him ready to avoid that? It's all I'm concerned about. Because again, no one here in this room says we're going to the Super Bowl.
No, I never.
So the one extra playoff game, I know it feels good. You say we develop, but it doesn't matter. No, we're not going to win. We don't have us going to the Super Bowl. But did our QB develop? Did our line get better? Did our scheme get drilled, locked in? It's a new installation all the way around. And for some teams, it takes more than one season. Are we willing to commit to that? Because realistically, that's what we're at. That's where we are.
Well, you don't have a choice to because your offensive line is not going to be fixed this year.
But we're also not necessarily going against a lot of premier defensive ends these next few weeks coming up. So, I mean, you got to watch out for Detroit. You got to watch out for Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson is a dog.
Green Bay's defense for some odd reason.
And Green Bay defense is clicking.
Hey,
I ain't gonna lie. They got McKinney from
Malik ain't gonna beat us, but that defense.
I hate to say this, but that team up in the north. Did you see how they protected their quarterback?
Yep.
What did I say? You protect the rookie quarterback.
They built it the right way,
but they also ran the ball with defense.
But they went and got the fat dudes first.
Yeah,
they built it for Kirk Cousins who can't move.
Actually, the guy that we got
talking about. They talking about
team
Minnesota.
in the north. No, the team up
Green Bay. I'm sorry, Green Bay.
We don't. So why do you say their name? What's wrong with you? Let's stand in the corner.
Hey man, he just turned around. He is in the corner technically.
No, but the whole point is that's how you protect the quarter. Malik Willis isn't killing nobody.
Yeah,
but they ran the ball. They protect them with a strong defense. They got a lead, and they kept the ball away from old boy. And then Anthony Richardson's not necessarily a great quarterback. He's going to throw the ball away. We're going to beat the Colts because he's going to do the same thing.
Hey,
if we can run the ball.
I just want to see him do a 60-yard bomb for this interception. I just want to see how pretty it looks while everyone's talking about him hitting the ceiling at this.
Who? Anthony Richardson? Oh, Anthony Richardson going to give us some footballs. We may have another Titans day.
Bro.
We may have another Titans day.
Yeah.
But he going to run.
He going to run that.
He might not finish this game.
That kid.
He might not finish this game. We tackle really well, and we hit hard.
That kid.
Rewatching that hit from Tyreek shouldn't be hitting that hard as a 5. What is he? 5'10", 5'11"?
That's why I like Tyreek.
He shouldn't be hard.
Hey, that's why I say put him in safety. No, you can't change position. No, before we got Bayard, my point was we could shift.
Well, you wanted him at quarterback.
Yeah, I was saying you did want the quarterback.
No, I did not.
What is he? Tyree Stevenson is 6 feet tall.
I don't believe
he is 200. He is 204. Well, probably
that's my size.
You can't play on the field in your socks.
Yeah, but they take their measurements. They sometimes they don't have the cleats on.
He probably 6. He Tyreek tall. I've seen Tyreek in person.
I mean that was probably the only
it's a game-saving play.
Weakness in the game was Tyreek.
Tyreek Stevenson was rough.
I would say this too, though. I mean, like they're still building this team. We've talked about this ad nauseum about we know that the center we had question marks. We know we had question marks as the right guard. Yeah. So now does Shane Waldron, those are our keys, right? How does Shane Waldron run, what?
I would have messed with Calvin.
Well, how do we know that he's,
the ADHD
how he would basically coach the squad? But
he said
we have another year, another draft coming up where we're going to have some picks. It looks like Carolina might give us that 33rd
They
pick.
benched them.
I ain't gonna lie. They might win with Andy Dalton.
They might win a couple games with Andy Dalton. Well, listen, they'll win 3. They'll win 3.
I mean, but we might end up with that 30.
That's good enough for the bottom pick. Yeah, they'll win 3.
Justin Fields is starting probably 50. He's going to be the starter. That's a 4th round pick. So we got the 1st round, our 2nd round, a 33rd pick, and we still got our 3rd rounder, and then we got a 4th. Yeah. We got picks coming up. They're going to address the line
100%.
And we still got $75 million in the cap next year.
Sounds like a lot of trade.
Here's my thing though, with where my concerns lie, but why I still feel good moving forward. It is the defense. Mm-hmm. Like they're going to keep you in a game.
Yeah.
Especially next week in Indianapolis.
It might be a pick six.
When you and because of that, because of what we saw versus Houston is why I feel that way. Joe Mixon ran 30 times for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns in that first game. Joe Mixon couldn't find the edge.
No.
This team is shutting down the run, making quarterbacks one-dimensional, and forcing you to pass. Now, it just so happened the quarterback you were going up against this week is really good. He's really good.
But we've said that. This defense will beat bad to mid quarterbacks. We're going to have a problem with Stroud. When they kept him in check.
Yeah.
To a degree. If we could have just sustained a couple drives.
If Fairbairn ain't so short, bro.
Right. And the kick is 63 yards, whatever.
350 plus crit.
If we're being fair, this is the best QB we're going to face all season.
No.
Yes.
Wait, okay, let's look at this.
No. Brock Purdy still on there.
Brock Purdy. No, I'm gonna give.
I got CJ over.
I'm gonna give CJ over them.
Brock
is good though. Don't get me wrong.
I
got CJ over Brock.
He's good.
Brock be balling.
No, he's gonna be a problem.
I guarantee you we play Jordan Love, but I'd probably put CJ above him.
I mean, Jared Goff. I
got CJ.
I got Goff number. Hey, we got Goff number. I ain't worried about Goff.
No, I mean who? What's the dude in Seattle?
Gino.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying who we're playing.
Yeah.
I'm saying who we're playing. We're not. I'm telling you, we're going to have a decent season.
Is the best quarterback we played. Well,
and they had one of the best defensive lines.
That's it.
Hey, better than Stafford. Yeah, probably is
Minnesota. Are we scared of Sam Darnold?
Stafford ain't got no weapons.
And they lost Jefferson.
Stafford ain't got no weapons.
Stafford ain't got no weapons.
Which, for fantasy purposes.
I'm benching him. I'm benching him for fantasy purposes.
I hope Puka come back in by week 4.
I'm so glad I got Purdy.
Are we gonna do? We gonna move on to recap?
Yeah, let's do our biggest overreactions. If we don't get the best and worst, we ain't got to do best and worst. We can do best and worst tomorrow or something. But let's do our biggest overreactions heading into this because I got one that I am absolutely ready to see today. Please, for the love of God, stop trying with Nate Davis. Bench him. I get his $10 million. Move Tevin Jenkins to the right side. Because if you're going to struggle, at least have greatness on one side. And I do think that there is a part of Darnell Wright's struggles that have to do with the fact that the dude that's standing next to him ain't stood next to him all offseason, barely stood next to him last season, barely spent any time on the field with him. And so guess what? When you throw a random piece in the offensive line, it's going to make things a little bit difficult. Like, how long do we have to see this experiment before we finally go, hey, I think this guy sucks?
But they were going to do that, but old boy got hurt.
Well, Pat,
make the move. And guess what? Yes, it's going to make the left side of your line weaker. Braxton Jones is going to be over there pretty much by himself because you're either putting in Karan Amageji, who's your long-term left tackle, or you're putting in maybe Matt Pryor, who's been a right guard for most of his career, in at left guard. He can play both, but you don't really want to use Matt Pryor if you don't have to, although he is a massive human being. He's a massive – he's like 6'7".
That's a big dude.
He's ridiculous. He's Tavondre Sweat on the offensive side. It makes no sense how large he is. But I say all that to say you can't run the football at all.
We got to run.
Last season, when you put a running back behind those two road graders of men going to the right side, you were absolutely laying people out. On that right side. And yeah, they knew you were running to the right side. And guess what? It didn't matter. You were sitting there like, oh, we got to stop. Oh!
Yeah.
You have to try something that is going to make some kind of greatness.
No, yeah, I agree.
And at this point, as somebody who had to get an emergency wisdom tooth surgery 2 weeks ago,
hi-yo.
If it's bad, pull it out.
Oh, snap.
Oh. If it's bad, pull it out.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
That could be a double entendre with him. That could be a double entendre with him.
Hey.
If it's bad, pull it out, bro.
Is that a real overreaction?
I think it's an overreaction because it doesn't. It's not something they're going to do. This is what I think. Because realistically speaking, if you bench Nate Davis, you're probably just putting Matt Pryor in at right guard because he is a right guard.
Love to see it.
But make the change. Move the guys around. Move them to the right because there's greatness on this offensive line, but you're trying to balance your offensive line. And so you got Tevin Jenkins on one side, Nate Davis on the other, Darnell Wright on the other, right? You're trying to make it so that you can kind of hide some of the blemishes. The blemishes are coming on that left side anyway.
Well, again, I've always wanted a better left tackle, but I'm with you. Put Tevin back on the right side. And create that running. We have to establish the run game.
Yeah.
If we did that yesterday, that's a different outcome for that game. They had a chance to win that game, even as porous as the offense played, because the defense is that good. And the whole point is to preserve this defense. Overreaction Monday. I'm trying to think of an overreaction I have. That means you want to go overreact to a point.
Overreact to whatever you feel like.
Because I'm going to say
Go
not
ahead,
overreact of Caleb like the season's not over. It's not over. We're 1-1.
No, I'm saying like predict an overreaction or say like something
something
that you like. This
outlandish.
is an overreaction, but
outlandish.
I would need to see this in week 3 of the season because realistically, changing your entire offensive line in week 3 is a bit of an overreaction.
Here's my overreaction. Ryan Poe's legacy will be no different than Ryan Pace's if he doesn't fix these trenches.
That's a great overreaction. He's going to be fine.
Hey.
This is still a year. He's still rebuilding.
If we don't fix these trenches and that boy keep going out there getting killed, and we end up with a Justin Fields 2.0 experiment because you didn't do the one thing that we know you needed to do, all the fleeces and stuff won't matter. Your generational quarterback, who everyone says we see he can be good, like week 2, we see he got it. He needs to come along a little bit, but we see he got it.
But you know what I like about that?
Fleeces and them picks don't mean nothing.
No. But what this did, everybody to a degree. Well, there's some detractors, of course. You can tell this is a quarterback.
Yeah,
I can tell.
So there's no more excuses. Like. We done been through Trubisky at number 2, Fields at number 11.
Whenever they say 2, it's still
and
crazy,
number
man.
1. For you can't go through all these quarterbacks and every one of them's terrible.
Eventually, it's you.
The line has to. You have to build through the line, which is why I'm like, y'all looking at me crazy. I'm like, we gotta fix the line. It was either all
who's looking at you crazy.
I'm just saying over the last few. When we talked about trades and the draft,
I said draft a center in the first round. Y'all told me I was an idiot.
This wasn't about you.
Okay, my bad.
It's okay, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying that. My overreaction is that Roshan becomes the leading rusher for the Bears, regardless of Swift.
I hope a running back is our leading rusher.
I want to.
I want a running back as my lead rusher.
Roshan, they fixed it, and Roshan is the guy. Like, where was this dude?
Does this start next week?
He's next week because they have to. They've seen the blueprint.
Yeah.
They saw what the team up north did to the Colts. That's how you're going to protect this quarterback. Yeah. Because until he's ready to really take the reins, he's not just ready yet. He's still got to get and set. It's like concrete getting poured in. He ain't set yet. It's still a little soft. You got to, you know what I'm saying?
Can I add
that in tile terms? because we got to get up out of here. What's your overreaction one day? Because I
keep going, dog.
45 minutes.
I keep going. We're gonna regret Rome, dog.
We're not gonna regret Rome.
So my overreaction is I don't know if Shane Waldron is getting paid by Gerald Everett or if he's got like Gerald Everett is like paying his dinner for the next year or something. But by God, use Cole Kmet more. I'm tired of seeing Cole Kmet either just blocking the whole game,
as a decoy,
get out there 40% of the season. The game, 4 receptions the past game. Gerald Everett needs to either sit down or be used better as a blocker. Don't use him in tight end screens when you got Rome Odunze and
let's just not
DeAndre
use tight
Carter.
end screens.
Block.
No, just put the switch it.
Switch it.
Rome catches
Give
the
the
ball.
top tight
the big
end-
guy blocks.
The top tight end in the league, more chances to impact the game. Good Lord.
Top
man.
tight end in
Shame-
the league.
One of the top tight ends by him by many opinions. One of the top tight ends in the league. We can say he's in the top 10, right?
Well, that's
He is
only
10,
because that's
isn't
what's
he?
left.
You talking about Cole Kmet?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Everybody
come
else
on
was
now.
tired.
I give him 10.
He is 10.
I give him 10. I
He
give him
is
10.
I give him 10.
He is 10.
He is 10.
Here's what the reality is: he's better than Gerald Everett.
Yeah.
Overall, as a tight end.
Well,
That's true.
he's not
Gerald
as
Everett's a
fast.
better blocker.
Gerald Everett's supposed to be more of a
No.
receiver.
Gerald
Oh,
Everett's a better
no.
blocker. Did you see
No.
Did you see Cole on that?
Yeah, I know he missed
on
that.
that block?
That was shout
Yeah,
out to Brandon
that was
True.
horrible.
The little
You
dude
get
blocked
one.
for the
You're
big
right.
dude. That's what I
agree.
said.
That was horrible. But I still think he's a better overall blocker than Gerald, in my opinion. Gerald's more athletic. I get
Gerald's
why
a
Shane
freak of
Waldron.
nature.
Yeah, but
Gerald's
he
a
ain't shown
receiver.
nothing.
Yeah.
He's a
He
receiver.
hasn't shown anything.
Yeah.
And that's my thing is go to what you know works.
Don't beat up on
In his
No,
game,
I will.
it is. It's
No,
still
that's
weak,
not on him. That's
That
Waldron.
is on-
That's
It's
Waldron
still
calling
weak
the
too, though.
play.
Waldron, look, in week 1, we gave him grace. Is what I'm saying. Oh, it's on me. It's on me. I take accountability.
Yeah.
Week 2, okay, you're gonna take more accountability when you get in front of
But
the press.
Waldron's calling the number. That's not them.
How many times he's got to say it's on him before we start
George.
saying no?
If I tell you the lineup is receiver and I'm the
Sure.
coach and it should be going to him, but I want the big boy.
I'm
Big boy, go over there. And
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna speak up on Monday through
you
Friday.
ain't speaking up nothing.
No,
'Cause you
yes, I am.
go
Yeah.
get over there.
That's why the
Hey,
players
hey,
need
your number.
more.
You gonna
That's
get in
why
that
the players
slide.
need more leadership. I'm
I'm
gonna
just
speak up
saying
and say,
that's
hey,
on the
this
coach.
is what's not working.
Well, I mean, I hear you on that, but the point is that that's not Everett's fault. They call his number. Okay, I'm out
Yeah,
here.
I'm running.
And he
over there.
didn't catch the ball on a slant too. Like, stop using Gerald Everett as much. Put Cole Kmet in those same
Was that
positions.
the one that we said was a bad pass? No, it wasn't.
No, it was
No,
right
it
in
was
his
on him.
hands. He just
That was
dropped
on him.
it.
He just dropped it. What you got, Dub? What's your overreaction?
Here's my overreaction.
This
man.
segment worked out. We getting fire in this mug.
This overreaction is something that I'm debating if I really do feel this way, or really it's something that we might look back at the end of the season and say we should have did this.
Here we go.
We should not have drafted Rome Odunze at 9. We should have traded it back. We could have got your Jackson Powers Johnson
Yeah.
and another tackle with those 2 picks. We could have drafted back. We could have traded back, got a little bit of a small haul, and got an offensive line built up for Caleb instead of drafting Rome Odunze. That's my overreaction.
That's a really good overreaction because
Because through
there's
2
no
weeks.
way. Yeah,
Now,
yeah, that's overreaction.
Now,
Hey, listen, ain't no overreaction.
no.
Hey,
Now-
Roman dropped the pass. He done fumbled the pass.
Marvin Harrison has to give him grace because a lot of these
Hey,
rookie
Marvin
receivers.
Harrison
Hey.
got 132 for
No,
There's a
200
video
yards.
that shows him literally standing there waiting for the ball and he drops it.
JC.
No.
That man
No,
got
JC.
132 yards. That's
He's
the
wide
name.
receiver 1 on his team. Rome is wide receiver 3. What are we talking about?
He got 8
Hey,
passes.
but he
4,
caught
only
both
caught
touchdowns.
4.
Yeah.
I agree.
But he caught both touchdowns. Rome has dropped both
Rome is like
touchdowns.
a whole bunch of
Rome was
attempts on his
dropping.
way.
Rome can't catch a
Rome
touchdown.
dropped
He
2
dropped it
touchdowns
in the
already.
I
in the
agree.
red
He's
zone
not
in the
getting that many attempts thrown his
preseason.
way.
He
He's
couldn't
not
get
getting that
inside
many
the
attempts
line.
thrown.
Now, I
You
will
only
say
got
this.
too many.
No, here's the thing. I will say this. It's not because of Rome Odunze to me. My issue is not because of Rome Odunze. I think that Rome is going to be a fine wide receiver. I think Rome eventually will be a wide receiver 1 on this team. I think we will love having Rome on this team. But I also
Yeah,
think
2 already?
I got him a wide receiver. I'm sorry.
I also think that you have to be realistic about the position that you put your rookie quarterback in. Because let's be honest about this. You can destroy Caleb this year, and all that generational talk goes out the window.
Yep.
He's been sacked 10 times already.
We can Bryce Young the heck out of this.
This ain't Bryce Young.
Hey, see that?
Because I didn't think Bryce Young was that talented coming out. I was like, all right, that's cool. You can David Carr him though. You can absolutely David Carr him. David Carr is talented.
Yeah.
David Carr was a good quarterback.
That's kind of sad how that worked out.
David Carr legitimately was a good quarterback.
Yeah, they just killed him.
And you put no protection in front of him. And that is the situation that you were doing with now David Carlson didn't have no wide receivers down on that team. But that is the situation that you're doing here. Was Andre Johnson there yet?
I think they had Andre.
Was Andre already there yet? Because David
he
Carr
was.
is 02.
Yeah,
Andre wasn't there yet. Andre
Okay.
came in 05.
he's been around. He was there.
Well, I think he might have been gone. But there
No,
wasn't
that
a
might
lot
be
of
before
talent
that.
on that team. But I say all that to say I agree with you on 2 weeks in, you see how much of a need the offensive line really is.
Yeah, they're gonna fix it. We said
I think Rome Odunze is a good player and that he's going to be a good player.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks in, it would be really nice to have a starting center.
It would.
Yep.
2 weeks in, it would be really nice to have a left tackle that you feel is going to sit in there and protect Caleb Williams. 2 weeks in, it'd be really nice to address right guard.
It's coming.
Because Pat, you know what?
Yeah, but it's not coming until next season.
Yeah,
Well, no, and we don't. We still have some
By
more
season
time.
two, David Carr was done.
Okay, let's say this. Let's just say this. Let's say this.
Oh, it's sack numbers? Yeah, no.
No. The list, the
I
receivers.
don't remember Jabbar Gaffney, but that's the best.
Jared Baxter, Corey Bradford, and Jabbar Gaffney. Yeah, he was throwing.
Yeah, that was bad.
He was throwing to me, Joel, and Kid.
So I take offense to that.
I don't care.
Yeah. No, I would say this. Let's just the great overreaction. Caleb is going to, turn it on to a degree where some of those throws that he wasn't making, he starts making those throws in spite of the line. So the idea that he's going to compensate for the deficiencies of the line and hopefully he doesn't get killed doing it. But that would be the thing, is that he gets better so that it takes pressure off the line. The main issue is we can't establish a freaking run.
I'm so tired of talking about it. We are 4 years into this. We're 3 years into polls. We're really 5 years. Well, I mean, really.
No, not five.
No, if we being real. Mitch is 17.
Yeah,
It's 2024.
7 years.
We're 7 years into talking about offensive line problems.
Well, that
3
was
starting quarterbacks.
you can't change. But see, when you change leadership like that too many times,
That has nothing to
Yes,
do with
it does.
addressing the major
Yes, it does.
issue on your team.
but it's also what happens.
Ryan
in
Poles
the
is an
draft, too.
offensive lineman.
That we hear you on that. That's the funny thing. Like, you're an IT guy. Why do you have all these IT problems? Like, I can't predict that. The draft, circumstances, free agency, all those things matter. And then on top of that, inheriting someone else's squad,
True.
and you have to rebuild and turn that over. It takes time.
That's great. I agree with you on that.
What do you want me to do?
Not knowing if
Detroit rebuilt it and turned it over. They swapped quarterbacks. They added receivers. They did all that. Where did Detroit start?
Okay, so we're gonna give Detroit credit for the last 3 or 4 years when they've been trash or up and down.
I'm gonna say this.
100%. What was the first changes they started to make?
They built the line.
We got to go get offensive
We gotta get
linemen. We got to
linemen.
go get defensive linemen.
Yeah, they did.
How many years in that team was Matthew Stafford getting his head kicked in?
all
A
of them.
lot.
Ever.
All of them.
So the years that they got good, somebody went, hey, maybe if we protect that dude that's trying to throw the
You
football.
preaching to the choir.
we might actually-
I would say
No,
this.
but
preaching to the
what I'm
choir
saying
here.
is, what I'm saying is, I'm just tired of talking about it. We're 7 years in. It's no way
But
that we can't figure out. And we 2 GMs in. Both GMs literally went,
But think about it like this, though. It's a perfect
I
team.
could get you an offensive
That's
line.
a perfect team.
But
to
what
use,
if I
though.
get you Allen Robinson?
But Pat, that's a perfect team to use. They went a long time not having an O-line. They killed Matthew Stafford. Thankfully, he got out of there. They get Jared Goff. He gets killed his first season. And then they start to slowly build it. They went 3-13 that first season.
Really, it started in 2021 where their first 3 picks in a row, they drafted all tackles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
So
guess what?
now look.
Hey, that's
the
called
Bears-
that's called addressing the issue.
Hey,
Hold on.
We unloaded
The Bears- now look, when Jerry Angelo was the GM, he tried, right? But he kept striking out. He had Colombo, Chris Williams, Gabe Kareem. He drafted tons of tackles, but none of them panned out.
But here's the thing: you don't get credit for swinging and missing.
No. What I'm saying is that
Javi Baez don't get credit
actually
as a hitter.
No, I'm not even trying to defend him. I'm saying that
Like
he tried. What we noticed here, my point was he tried. What we're seeing here was, Pace picks freaking Kevin White. Okay,
He had no way to know.
no, but you got a guy like who's the guy that went to the Colts, the guard, who's like all pro right out the gate.
You talking about,
yeah.
I mean, out the gate, he's
I know
he's
you're
starting
talking about.
right there. Like that's
Nelson?
Quentin Nelson. That's the guy you're supposed to go after. Like there were guys
He's
that
hurt now, ain't he?
I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
hurt
yeah,
now,
yeah.
but he's like the only good lineman.
But it's a
on
hit. It's one of those things
That
where it's
was a-
like that. You got a talented player.
Right. So
Yeah.
the same thing. I don't know if Poles is like, look, I got a chance to get this quarterback. We think he's that special that we need to forego probably getting an alt and someone else because there's other guys coming out maybe next year. We didn't sign any guys because we didn't want to overpay. We keep saying this. McGlinchey, Pace Jr. or Brown Jr.
I'm fine with that, Joe. But you were in position to do it.
but they chose the quarterback.
No, they chose the wide receiver.
Well, I didn't want him.
I'm just saying, like, no, but my point is, I'm tired of it. It's not.
Jordan
Morgan. You wanted a defensive.
Jordan Morgan. And
I need dudes to protect my quarterback, and we still don't got that guy.
I did want Karen Amagaji. We
did get Karan Amagaji, and maybe that'll end up panning out.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
But it's just too many questions for me. It's too many questions that we knew were questions last season that we're running back.
I see.
So we'll see what it ends up being, man. I hope that this line gets fixed
next week.
Plenty of overreactions. That was a great segment. We probably bring that in weekly. I like that. Overreaction
nice.
Monday, because you end up doing that every week. You just be like, these guys suck. Like me last night with Ryan Poles. It might have been a little bit of an overreaction.
No,
was that spot on?
I thought it was spot on.
He was a bad offensive line.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And he ain't got a good one.
Hey, and ain't got a good one yet. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For the super producer, Joel Holton, the pettiest man alive, Mr. P. Kid, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, and Dub back there running the ones. Oh, God, he's got eyes. Where'd the glasses go? Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down, one love. Sweet Jesus. Oh, peace. Yeah, that one. Oh, boy.
Overreaction. Caleb was going to go.
Caleb Williams is more Jackson. He's more Jackson Mahomes than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.